Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is my 20 books that I want to read in 2026 video. I have seen a lot of people do this with the 26 books they want to read in 2026. I only have 20. Well, I only have 20 ideas. I have about, I want to say 15 that I actually already own and need to read. So we'll be doing those first before I buy new books. But let's get into it. Grab your coffee. This is my second of the day. Probably a mistake, but I wanted another one, so I don't do that very often. Let's jump into it. These are in no particular order. They're just the order that I picked them up off my bookshelf. But the first one is this behemoth of a book that I have already started. I've been reading this since October. It is The Wilderness Warrior. It is The Wilderness Warrior by Theodore... Nope. It is The Wilderness Warrior, Theodore Roosevelt and the Crusade for America by Douglas Brinkley. I am this far into it. Started off a little slow because it was, and it still is, it's about his childhood so far, and he's bored in the book, so I therefore am bored reading about him being bored, but I know it will get good. You're going to see a common theme in this book video. It is very granola, very outdoorsy, very conservation and history and all those things. So there will be more Theodore Roosevelt books because I'm obsessed at the moment. So that is the book that I want to read first, all the way through. Next, we have The Rise of Theodore Roosevelt by, this is Edmund Morris. This is before he was president, and I think it's gonna be really good. I'm excited to read this one. With that, I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit to my list of books that I want to read that I don't own. There are two more in this series. The first one, so this is the first one, The Rise of Theodore Roosevelt. The second one is called Theodore Rex, and that is his presidential term. The third one is Colonel Roosevelt, and that is after he is out of office. So I don't own the second two yet. I'm going to read this one first, obviously, and then I will either purchase those or listen to them on audiobook, but they're on my TBR. Next, we have Guardian of the Valley, John Muir and the Friendship That Saved Yosemite. I am pretty sure this talks about Theodore Roosevelt in it because I know he was friends with Muir. Maybe not. Maybe it's about Robert Underwood Johnson with Muir. Either way, I'm really excited to read this one. I had some friends take a trip to Yosemite, and I'm very excited to someday go myself, but I've been obsessed with Yosemite for several years because Ansel Adams, my favorite photographer, was obsessed with Yosemite, and that was his home base. So super excited to read about this one. Next, we have Ansel Adams, an autobiography. I saw this book in Oklahoma City Art Museum when they had Ansel Adams exhibit in the gallery, whatever you want. I don't know what you want to call it. We went for my birthday, and it was amazing, and it was really cool seeing some of his original negatives, his original prints. I learned a little bit about him, but I had 2 or 3 books that I saved that I wanted to read. I didn't buy them at the museum because I don't pay full price for books personally. It just goes against everything in the thrifty, conservationist-esque personality that I am. So I did buy this, or no, I put it on my birthday wish list, and my brother bought it for me off of Thrift Books, which if you don't know, Thrift Books, sponsor me, please. Thrift Books is a website where you can go and look for any book you want, and they'll give you different options for quality. So my brother, let's see, it's normally, well, this is an old edition. Let's say this book is $25 new. They will have different ratings of very good, good, acceptable, poor, and ugly, maybe is the last one, or very bad, I don't know, for quality, and then you pick which you want, and you pay whatever it says. I usually pick acceptable to very good, depending on the price, and I don't think I've paid more than $8 for a book on Thrift Books, so love Thrift Books and Ansel Adams. So I'm excited about this one. Next, we have Ansel Adams, a biography. This is by Mary Street Allender, who I believe is his daughter. Maybe not. Oh, she was Adams' assistant. That's very cool. I'm very excited to read this one. I also saw it at the museum and again was not going to pay full price. My brother got me this one with the other one. I feel like he got me more books, but that's basically what we get each other for birthdays. My twin brother. So we basically just exchange books on our birthday and on Christmas. So he did get me this one. I'm excited about this. I don't really know much about it except the fact that it's Ansel Adams. So coffee break. This is an eggnog latte, and it's freaking amazing. That's why I've had 2 today. Okay, next book I have is called Empire of Shadows by George Black. It is about Yellowstone. It says, it's the epic story of the conquest of Yellowstone, a landscape uninhabited, inaccessible, and shrouded in myth in the aftermath of the Civil War. So, very excited about this one. I have been to Yellowstone when I was... I think I was 5 the year that we went there. I was either 2.5 or 5 because we've been north twice, 3 times. Okay. We've been north twice in my childhood, and then we went to the Tetons for my senior trip, but we didn't end up making it to Yellowstone, even though it's really close. There's a lot that happened. I'll make a video on that sometime, but not today. So I love national parks and Yellowstone and can't wait to read about this one. Let me just say, I picked this one up at Half Price Books the last time I was in there. That's the other place I love to get books. There are times where I'll go in and be like, ooh, that looks like a really good book. And then it's like $12. And I'll look it up on Thrift Books and I can get it for $4.99. I will do that. Now, that does enable my book buying habit because you have to pay shipping unless you get like $30 or more worth of books, which to me, if I'm going to pay for it, I'm going to get something for my money. So I'm going to add more books. So instead of, it does mean I have limited bookshelf space. But anyway, we're going to keep going. The next book I have, this is kind of a rough copy because it was one of those like poor quality or acceptable maybe, but it's really not damaged, it's just dirty. But this is John Muir's Wilderness Essays. I am excited for this one. Again, it's on theme. I also want to read, I think I put it on my Christmas wish list, his Our National Parks, which is his collection of other essays. I believe they're different than the Wilderness Essays. I should have looked at that before. It is different because it's a collection. But I guess they're about you know what? I don't really know. But I want to read that one too. So I'm gonna read both of those. Next, we have John Muir's Travels in Alaska. Are you guys seeing the theme yet? Does this make sense? Do you see why I only have 20 or something instead of 26? Because I don't think I can read all of these in a year. Especially not if I'm on the pace that I was this year, 2025. But my goal is to read at minimum 12. I think I can do 12 books. I don't know. These are thick books. I don't know. As long as I get through some of them, I'll be happy. But John Muir's Travels in Alaska. I'm really excited about this one. My mom was reading something about John Muir. This guy, current day, traced the voyage that John Muir and some other people did through Alaska and did it the same style that they would have done. So like steamboats maybe and something like that. So she was reading that at the same time I asked for this one. So I'm gonna have to pick her brain on what happens in this before I read it. I love old books that look like this and smell like this. That one was a little dusty. Maybe not that one. Okay. Stop being weird, Mallory. Another coffee break. Okay, this one I picked up on a whim at Half Price Books. One River, Explorations and Discoveries in the Amazon Rainforest. This was an impulse buy, actually 2 years ago. It looks really interesting. I have not picked it up because I don't have a super big interest in the Amazon rainforest. It does still look really cool. I picked it up when I bought this book, The Glitter and the Green, all about hummingbirds, and this guy's, he's traveled around the world looking for hummingbirds in cool places. I thought I finished this book, but my bookmark is still in like halfway through. Oh, I did finish this. I must have just stuck that bookmark in there. Okay. Because I was very proud of myself for finishing this, but it was really good. But they were in the Amazon rainforest. They were in Puerto Rico. They were in, I don't know where else they were. It was like 2 years ago. And so I thought this would be really cool. It probably still will be. I don't know when I'm going to read it, but I want to in 2026. Next, we have Preserving Yellowstone's Natural Conditions, Science and the Perception of Nature. This book talks a lot about wildlife management. I'm not sure if I'm going to like it because I have different views than a lot of common wildlife management views. I feel like, I don't know, I'm pro hunting. That's the difference. But I think it'll be an interesting read either way. Whether I agree with him or not, I would love to learn about it. So, to the stack. The next two books. I have already started these books and need to continue to read them. So, this first book is called Wild Signs and Star Paths. I started this in March on our cabin trip, and it was really good. I just have not picked it up since. I did horrible at reading this year, guys. So, this book, I need to clarify, is not at all about astrology and your Libra, Scorpio garbage. I do not believe in that at all, and I'm not afraid to say it. It is about utilizing the way the Lord, I don't know if he's coming at it from a Christian point of view, but it is using creation and the way animals use their instincts and humans should use their instincts to function. So he's talking about like resetting. He went away from the city, away from light, away from, this sounds really hokey as I talk about it, but it wasn't, away from clocks, and was able to start telling time on his own once he like reset. That's about as far as I got, but the rest of it sounds really cool. For those of you that know me and my family personally, my dad started reading this and really enjoyed it. So it's not hokey at all. Okay, next, The Wilderness World of John Muir. This is different than his wilderness essays, but it is a collection. It's a selection from his collected work is what they call it. Also, almost halfway through. It's pretty good. I've skipped a couple because I've already read the certain essays in them. I also did skip a good chunk of his childhood. Okay, last one for books that I own. This book I did pick up at the art museum because it was like 60% off. So it was cheaper than on Amazon, and it was not on Thrift Books yet. So I felt good about buying it. This is Making a Photographer, The Early Works of Ansel Adams. I started reading this. Common theme. I got about that far through. It is a lot of photographs. It isn't just his childhood. Let me say that. It is just the beginning of his photography career before he was Ansel Adams. Does that make sense? So, really excited to keep reading this one. I might read this over Christmas, actually. I might take this with me because it was really interesting. I picked, when we went to the museum, I was in a pretty deep spiral with my career. I felt like I was failing. Still feel that to this day, but not nearly as strong. And I've worked through some of it. But it was really cool seeing his, like reading about him submitting to this publication and getting turned down, submitting for this and getting turned down, and the same things that I'm feeling as a photographer in certain areas. So it's a good book. You guys should read it. Okay. Lastly, we have, wait a minute, I've lost my sticky note. Here we go. I lost my sticky note. I mean the proper one, because I have a lot of sticky notes. I'm a sticky note gal. Okay. these are the books that I want to read that I don't own yet, and I will probably download an audiobook because I love listening to podcasts and audiobooks while I am editing, or while I'm crafting, because I do a lot of crochet and that kind of stuff. So super excited to get some audiobooks. I might even, some of these that I already own, get on audiobook just to get through some, because we're setting a goal and we're going to finish that goal. So let's see, we went over that one. Okay, To Rescue the American Spirit. It's another Teddy Roosevelt one. I just saw it at Walmart last week. This will be after I finish, I think I have 5 Teddy Roosevelt books that I already own. So I will get through those first, and then I will purchase or download this one. It's by Brent Bayer. The next one is called Northwest Trees. It is literally like a textbook, I believe. It might actually not even be a read it book, more of a index encyclopedia type book. Either way, it's on my thrift books wish list. I think it's on Pacific Northwest trees specifically, but I want to be able to identify trees in the wild. Like I can identify birds and animals and some flowers and stuff like that, but trees are an area that I want to grow in. The next 2 books are, I don't really know anything about them. They were recommended to me in a TikTok video, and they looked really cool. So the first one is Deep Creek by Pam Houston. Excited to, this is probably one I'll download. I don't know anything about it, but whatever the lady in the TikTok video was saying, it sounded cool. And then the next one is The Sun is a Compass. I do know this one. It's a husband and wife, and they traveled from Washington, possibly, to Alaska by manpower. And I don't know if that means like she's in a kayak on the cover. I don't know if that means like the sails or if they mean canoes. That'd be pretty crazy, but I'm excited to, I just threw that. I'm excited to figure it out. So that is my 20 books for 2026. I will make a video at the end of 2026 with how many books I actually read and if I added any more to the list. And yeah, if you have any recommendations for me to read in 2026 that follow this genre of photography and Ansel Adams and Theodore Roosevelt and conservation and nature and wildlife, send them my way. Leave a comment with your favorite book and I will add it to my list. So yeah, thanks for watching this video. Like and subscribe if you would like to see more. And I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!